these cuts are going to decimate services in Devon, services that people who are quite often low paid and quite often vulnerable actually rely on. And I think it's been dishonest for Devon County to be saying to the press and other people that the impact on frontline services is going to be mitigated by cutting the back office. Back office staff are an integral part of providing these services. And I think it's really disrespectful to the people who work for Devon in back office roles. Because these people actually support specialist staff and mobile staff to actually get out and do the job. So my question would be, how are Devon County going to provide these services while back office things are being cut? My second question, picking up on a couple of colleagues' points about alternatives, there are plenty of alternatives. There's something like £120 billion of uncollected tax in this country. I'm not talking about raising tax, I'm talking about collecting the taxes owed. I'm talking about organisations like Barclays paying more than 1% corporation tax. So my question is, will Devon County write to the Treasury, to George Osborne, and ask him to take action, urgent action, on the tax gap and the uncollected tax?
Yeah, brilliant.
I think it's fair to say that last budget, we met with all the Devon MPs, and we pointed out to them very clearly what the impact of the cuts were going to be, and I told them that what the impacts are likely to be for this coming year. And we're at the present moment fixing up times to be able to go and visit and meet with all Devon's 10 MPs. We will clearly make it known to them. And I think most of them already realise it, but they're not listening, some of them. Gary Streeter said to me only a few days ago something about the cuts. And I said, well, you've told us to drop 27% of our spend over 4 years. Not you personally, but all you up there in the House of Commons. Don't come and tell me that your post bag is getting full when it's your fault that we're in this position. Now, I can't be more blunt than that. It's fair to say that Cameron's office won't return any calls to me since I told them they couldn't organise a booze up in a brewery.
Why don't you change your party allegiance?
Conservative with a rather smaller C than some. And I do believe, as they will tell you in County Hall, a consensus working within County Council. And on the basis of that, we have actually got the County Council, by and large, working for the betterment of the people of Devon. Your question about back office versus front office. So we are reducing, and we are reducing levels of management. And we will continue to do so, because we want to. And to explain about the volume of our expenditure versus our staff salaries. So we will still be losing some more people. But the vacancy management side will probably be eased in the foreseeable future, because no longer is it having the desired, no, desired's the wrong way. No longer is it having the effect, because out there in Devon, life is getting drafty, so less people are actually leading us to go for other jobs in other places. So, we do have that as an issue.
But the cuts are not working. It's a disaster, man. So and you're taking part in the disaster.
I hear what you're saying.
But it's not
The
working.
specifics of what you're saying, I would need to look into in more detail. Can I bring a lady to you?
Right, thank you. I know it's only one job we're talking about, but it's a very high paid job. I'm thinking with the reduced services, reduced the academies, private schools, and free school, whatever they call, privatised schools, I think they are. Can you tell me, a chief executive's job must be quite a smaller role than it was before? Has his salary been reduced?
The chief executive reduced his salary when I reduced the leader's salary 2 years ago. It's down at £149,000.
They're living on 12 grand.
Okay, now just so. He is running a business of 1.3 to 1.4 billion in private practice
Service.
3 or 4 times that.
I accept
He is
Public
the
service.
lowest paid of any local authority, top level chief executive.
Probably not as same hours as I do.
Can I just say, he agreed to meet with my daughter, who was a library assistant. He was paid. He did that on his work time. He was paid for that meeting. She gave up her time. He did absolutely nothing. He didn't even email her back about her concerns. He voiced them all. He seemed to think that was his job done. He listened. But there's no point listening if you do absolutely nothing. And he did get back to her with all the points she made. So he was paid for, I think it was probably about an hour and a half of his time. Very, very expensive time. She was paid nothing. And the meeting achieved nothing. How many of his other meetings, because he's always in them, how many of his other meetings achieved absolutely nothing? He can just go ahead.
Can I say, as far as I'm concerned, he's running a very, very tight ship in Dublin County Council. That's what he's paid for, but he's running a tight ship. He has fronted the restructuring, and he has worked very closely with me on it. On the basis of that, you know, my view is, he's down good value for money. Now, I'll stop there. I have another question over here somewhere, and I've lost it.